tell you guys, I just got done listening to the newest album from Breaking Benjamin, Ember, and I'm mind blown. I really am. I really did enjoy the crap out of this album. I tell you what, man, this album sure surpassed Dark Before Dawn. I can say that with confidence. I think the majority of people can agree. I mean, this album had a ton of things that I felt like previous Breaking Benjamin albums, or, specifically Dark Before Dawn, I just felt like they did things better with this album than with Dark Before Dawn. There's a few points I do want to bring up about this album, Ember, too, though, and some things that I was actually very surprised about. One of the things is, this is a very cinematic album. It kind of, like, not like Starset cinematic, but it might have some of that influence. Like, I believe the intro to Down, I think, has, like, a really cool intro that sounds like it's from, like, a movie trailer or something. I thought it was really cool, and I think it adds to the song. Yeah. And what can I say about the singles? Of course, we all know the amount of songs that Breaking Benjamin has released before this album. You know, there was Feed the Wolf, Red Coal River, Psycho, Blood, Save Yourself. I think that's it. Yeah. The singles, I mean, I can see why now. I can see why they chose the songs that they chose to be singles, because I could say with confidence that those are pretty much the highlights for me, the main singles from the album. Which is why I'm kind of disappointed that they put out so many songs before the album's release. But nonetheless, I enjoyed just about every track on this album. I think every track has something good about them. Of course, we all know Red Coal River being the first single released for this album. It's heavy and, it's melodic. I really dig the chorus and verses. It's a fantastic song, and it's a great first single. Feed the Wolf was another song that they've released. It's a traditional Breaking Benjamin song, and I do enjoy it. And, the other single, Psycho, of course, this is one of my favorites from the album for sure. I guess you can consider this the title track, because they use the word Ember in this song. So I guess you could say it is the title track. But I do enjoy this one. It's basically anything you want in a Breaking Benjamin song. I really do love it. And the closing track, well, the second closing track, the last song on the album, Close Your Eyes. Now, when I first heard this song, I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but it didn't work as an album closer, I don't think, as like a last song. But I think it's alright. It's good for what it is, and I do enjoy this song. And of course, it goes right into the outro. And as far as the intro, Lyra, this is a... I do have to complain about this one a little bit, only because of how short it is. It's very short. It has like pianos, which I think is really cool, and it goes right into Feed the Wolf, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, Lyra and Vega are pretty much the only instrumental tracks from this album. Basically, if you don't know, they basically did the same thing that they did with Dark Before Dawn, add in an intro and an outro, which I was kind of disappointed in, because I usually don't like when Breaking Benjamin does that, even though Phobia is my favorite Breaking Benjamin album, probably still. It's, that album did have intros and outros as well. And of course, there's a few other tracks that I haven't talked about yet from this album. Torn in Two, which I believe was supposed to be a B-side. It was supposed to be on Dark Before Dawn, but it's a B-side, and you can tell it's a B-side. And that's kind of one of the other things I was kind of disappointed in, though, like, that they added a B-side to this album, and it just makes it kind of drags it down a little bit, but I do like the song. Tourniquet. Now, this, in my opinion, is probably the weakest song on the album. I do like it to some extent, but I don't know, the lyrics just felt kind of bland to me, and the instrumentation didn't really grab me. It just seems kind of unoriginal. Nothing really stood out about it. But I still do think it's pretty good for what it is, and yeah, it's not bad. And yeah, of course, I saved this last track to talk about for last, and that is the song "The Dark of You." Now, this was the song that I was most excited to listen to on this album, and I was not disappointed. This is a phenomenal song. I believe this is the song that features that one guy. Yeah, and it's done very well. And believe it or not, but one of the first things I've noticed when I listen to the song is that it sounds like a song that Knives has done. I mean, what? I mean, that was the last thing I've expected, you know. Breaking Benjamin taking some Knives influences. I'm not so sure about that, though, but I wouldn't put it past it, you know. But yeah, I know I kind of went all over the place, you know, in the track listing, but there's just a lot to say, you know. What can I say? I really did enjoy this album, guys. It fits very well in Breaking Benjamin's discography, I think. But chronologically, where would I place this album in Breaking Benjamin's, like, chronology? Honestly, I probably put it in between We Are Not Alone and Phobia. In English, this album sounds like it could have been released in between We Are Not Alone and Phobia, which is not a bad thing. And if you're someone who's into classic Breaking Benjamin, I think you're going to really like this album. I feel like this album brings back some of those classic elements than Dark Before Dawn had. And I don't know what else to say, guys. I really did enjoy this album. It's probably by far my favorite album of the year. This album pretty much makes you want to throw your 3 Days Grace Outsider album out the window. Not literally, don't do that. I still do. I think that's a pretty good album too, but it's obviously not as good as Breaking Benjamin's new album. And that's pretty much all, guys. I'm gonna have, as far as ratings go, I'm gonna have to give it a strong 9 out of 10. There's just a few things holding it back from keeping it 10 out of 10, though. I wish they could have extended the intro a little more, and Tourniquet being a little bland, in my opinion, and Torn Into being a B-side. But other than that, it's a really fantastic album. It's one of my favorite Breaking Benjamin albums. I will go as far to say that I might even go as far to say that it's my second favorite behind Phobia. I mean, I was really impressed by this album, guys. This album screams classic Breaking Benjamin like none other. It makes you want to forget about Dark Before Dawn, pretty much. Even though I still think that's a pretty good album. But Dark Before Dawn I still would consider my least favorite from the band. But Ember, man, did this album... I think this album's going to do very well in the age department, too. And I can tell you this much. It's going to probably be ranked really high whenever I get around to my favorite albums of the year list. Yeah, there's been a few good albums that released this year, guys. We had Judas Priest come out with a great album. We had 3 Days Grace come out with a pretty good album. Breaking Benjamin released a phenomenal album. And, yeah, it's hard to believe, man. You know, it's hard, like, the age that I'm at now, and how long I've been listening to this band. You know, I've been listening to Breaking Benjamin for almost a decade now. It was, like, shortly after Dear Agony. And it just brings me back to the days, man. I really did enjoy this album. I think it's a great one. So, thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of Breaking Benjamin's new album, Ember? It's fantastic in my opinion. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. Take care.